Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to World of Tanks with Feeling237, and today we're going to be doing a different kind of video. Today we're going to be making a new account and we're going to be looking at the training, or more what the standard World of Tanks player sees when they log in, because I don't know, I guess I thought this would be an interesting video because I really haven't done it and I don't remember the training all too well to see if it's changed. So, as you can see, my account is pretty old. It's created in 2014, so that makes it 7 years old at this point. And honestly, I think that, you know, everyone needs a refresher of the basics of World of Tanks, maybe every year. Bit like driving, really, for people over 50. They should have like a refresher course or something every couple of years. And I think that's a good thing to do, but it's easier said than done, because going and watching YouTube videos on somebody's, like, on how to use bush mechanics or how the spotting system works, it's all well and good, but actually putting it into practice is a lot more difficult. As you can see, I'm a pretty much above average player. I know all the stuff. Whether I decide to put it into practice or not during a game is a completely different matter. But I was just interested to see what the training is like for World of Tanks, because I know the training for War Thunder is pretty decent. I don't remember World of Warships all too well, but that's kind of the basis of this video. It's just going to be a live com. I'm just going to go through it and see what it's like, see if I'd make any adjustments. So what I've done is I've created a referral program with Chungus Khan. That's just a completely random account. So we're going to hop into that, and yeah, we're going to see how we do. I don't really have any expectations so far. I don't know if they've updated it at all, so this is going to be a new adventure for me as well. And I'll make comments about it as we go, see what they could do to improve, so on and so forth. So I'll see you over there. So we're just loading in now. Yeah, I kind of butchered the intro. I really don't know how I should start this video. I guess, yeah, I'm not going to go and redo it. I really can't be bothered. But yeah, basically we're going to see what the standard World of Tanks player sees. If you're a brand new person going straight in for the first time playing the game, see what the first battle is like for them as well. See, you know, what the user interface is. See how in-depth the trailer actually is. Or the training rather. So currently we've got a very exciting intro of what World of Tanks would actually be like. A Tiger would not bounce any shots whatsoever because it's a Tiger. Of course, you know, instead of going for the easy shot there on the KV-1S, we're going to outflank it. Yeah, no, okay. Go for the historic accuracy. The Panzer IV shooting its own Panzer III makes sense. Yep, Sherman Jumbo doesn't kill a Chaffee in one shot, I guess. Okay. Okay, well, it's very cinematic. I'll give you that. It does entice the player. I'll give that. Give Wargaming something.
Welcome
like that.
to World of Tanks.
Oh boy. This is not something I wanted to do, but whatever. We'll I guess we'll click battle. Okay, so I should probably
Follow the tips to complete the mission.
Okay. And the tips
Turret
are
and aiming controls.
alright. Wait.
Vehicle controls.
My sensitivity is gonna be really low. I guess that's whatever. I'll change the settings later. Okay. So we'll start off with a Sherman Jumbo, which is it's interesting. I'll give it that, because naturally you wouldn't expect. You'd expect to start from T-34 of some kind.
Hold the mouse wheel to leave sniper mode.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that in a minute.
Aim at an enemy vehicle and fire.
So I guess. Alright, so far it's actually pretty decent. The first tank that you will shoot is probably that Panzer, and it's obviously stationary, so you get to like understand the sort of sniping mechanics, etc. And then these lot, they're quite slow, they're just moving towards you. We're using a HE gun. So yeah, I guess it's okay if I take a bit of rod to get used to, but not as I can do much damage, and I guess the advantage of being in the Sherman Jumbo against this lot is that you know, not much, you won't take much damage for it. So I think, okay, first engagement of a training session.
Victory!
Oh, okay. Is that it? Is that really it? That better not be the training, because that's not very... okay. I have a new vehicle in the garage, okay. Oh, there's a video that we can watch. They should do like the airfield map, don't they? Okay, yeah, obviously the Tiger. I totally get why they're using the Tiger. It's an iconic Okay, so this is actually very important, and not a lot of people will realise this when they start off, is actually traversing your tank the same way as the gun. Obviously, it will rotate it faster, so for a new player that's very important. Yeah, so I'd say kudos for them for doing that. I'd say the first like battle you do for the training is good. It, you know, it teaches you the basics, just moving and shooting, which is all you really need to learn. And that video is obviously good because it sort of teaches you a bit more advanced stuff, and we get to choose a vehicle. So most people will either choose the BT2 or the Panzer II, and I mean, no, an M2 is not really a tank you want to be playing, so I think I'll probably go for the Panzer II. Actually, see, we've got to do now. We've got to figure out like what tech tree we want to go down. It's given us a free tier 2, and what I'd like at this point is the game to show you what the tanks are. Now, obviously, since the tech tree rework was done, these tanks, they all stay the same. You know, there isn't like a Panzer Jaeger 1, there isn't the Panzer 35T anymore. It just goes Panzer 1, Panzer 2, or Leichtraktor Panzer 2. No, the Leichtraktor isn't even in the game, I don't think. Anyway, but yeah, it's tier 3 is when it starts to branch off, I believe. But I would like it to, say for a person who's completely new to a tank game, like I was back in 2014, I knew some stuff, but I didn't know most stuff. Back then I would like to go and look at the tier 10s and see what there is. Now I went straight down the German line because I saw like lots of videos of Jagdpanzer V100s just destroying the enemy, and then when I got to the Jagdpanzer V100 I was like, okay, this is okay, for about one patch before the Object 268 version 4 came in. I was like, oh right, okay. But yeah, I think for a person that'd be completely new to any form of tank warfare, they'd like to have a look at what tanks there are, because at this you probably pick the coolest looking tank, and honestly they're probably not all that appealing. I guess maybe the BT2 looks kind of cool with all the angles and whatnot, but we're going to go down the we're going to go down the Russian line just because it is usually the most, it's usually the starting tech tree for everyone. Okay, so it's teaching us how to use the garage interface so we can look at tanks. So that's relatively decent. And now it wants us to go straight into a battle. Okay, well first of all, before we do that, we are going to look at the settings. And this is something that it should do. it should teach you about the settings before you go straight into a game, because something that a lot of people will not realise is actually you can change a lot of stuff in the settings, and it can severely aid or hamper your gameplay. Such as things like the minimap indicators, stuff like enabling more zoom. Don't want that. I don't think there's anything else. I mean, I could go through it later, but yeah, the stuff like graphic settings as well. I believe they're all fine. They're all off because Potato Computer. Sound doesn't really have an issue. Well, sound as well. I guess you've got to have a look, and I feel like that would be a lot better for the player to get them used to the garage before going into a game, because you go straight in, and from what I've seen, it's difficult for a new player to go straight into the game. Now, obviously, this is sort of I think this is actually saving all of my my settings from my other account, my main one. You can see everything's the same aside from this. But yeah, I think it would be good if it did this, like it took you through all of this at the start, or it was optional. Like if you want to go straight back into if you want to go straight into a game, then that's fine for some people, but I would much rather get used to the UI first. I'm sort of butchering this because I can't do two things at once, but yeah. So stuff like this, for example, battle notifications, people won't necessarily understand what it means, and it can be a massive help knowing what has shot you from where, from how much. It doesn't teach you to use HP or anything, it just sort of expects you to know, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I think it could do with a little bit of rework. I don't know if it goes through afterwards, so we're gonna jump straight into a battle. This might not actually be. I don't think it is a random battle. I think this might be another team training battle. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's fine. So it doesn't throw you straight into a random game, which is good. So I take back a little bit of what I said there. So I guess this is more of an advanced thing to try and do.
Find and destroy all enemy vehicles.
Okay, so that's nice. It's not actually using the interval. Wait a minute. Ooh, we're not having this field of view. Holy shit. Okay. I think that's my normal FOV. I honestly can't remember. So what it's done is it's narrowed this Abbey map here, and now it's up to you to deal with them. Now obviously these bots are going to be pretty crap, both on the Allied team and enemy team, and they will soak up the majority of the damage for you, and I expect that as we go forward it's going to get progressively harder. But what this does is it teaches you sort of to use your allies. It's also like showing how to use ridges, maybe. Like tanks will obviously can't depress their gun far enough.
A green marker shows you are aiming at a weak spot of the vehicle.
Okay, so it's giving you little hints as you go along.
Scroll the mouse wheel to enter. A green marker shows you are aiming at a weak spot of the vehicle.
Okay, so it's teaching you something that a lot of people okay, there we go. But what so it's teaching you how to use the penetration indicator, but what I think a lot of new people don't realise is that it doesn't actually take into account armour sloping, so that it should probably mention that. That'd be my only criticism for this first bit. I feel that, obviously I don't know, but the further along you go, it should probably throw into the deep end more. And stuff like this, tracking an enemy in the air, it should tell you about that. It should say like, tracks will immobilise them, so on and so forth. So people know where to aim on certain tanks. Not like individual ammo racks or where the crews sit, but also like, but mainly like shooting tracks, shooting potentially where the engine or fuel tank could be. Does he want me to sit in the bush? Or does he just want me to go? Confused. Okay.
Flank and destroy the enemy vehicle. Try to avoid being hit.
Okay, so this is a good thing here. We'll have to fight a tank destroyer that doesn't have a turret here. How does that bounce? Okay. Alright, he just wants me to get behind him. Okay. So, this is a good thing, because it's showing that tanks that look like this, that have this superstructure system, can't aim in certain directions. Which both helps you when you trying to fight tanks like that, but also understanding what tanks could have that weakness. And like obviously looking where the gun is aiming is obviously a big help as well. I've just got to know where these shells are going, but whatever. So in this situation here, I would like this LTP to be a bit more aware, if that makes sense, because all he's doing is just getting into a trading match with this AMX-38, and that's going to do nobody any favours whatsoever. You sort of...
Victory!
After this is going to a bit more detail. This is gone about zooming in, armour penetration, indicators. It's gone into flanking tank destroyers. And we've got another video. So watch this video and I'll go through what I'm talking about afterwards. So we're in a batch at 12T at the moment. And I know we said 111, 1 GFT is coming to us. Okay, so this is showing it again. With the armor penetration. So there should be a voiceover here. There should be maybe a quiz. Maybe that's too like, I don't know, maybe a bit too in depth. But it should say like, what would happen in this situation, sort of thing. Like, what should this tank do if it can't pen the front of this tank? And I feel that, obviously I don't know how this will go, but penetration needs to be explained. Like armor types need to be explained as well. For when you get to using heat rounds, for when you get to using
vehicle improvement.
Like
credits are used to purchase vehicles and improve them.
Okay, so we'll talk about currency now. That's a good thing. So this is quite a slow improvement.
Combat experience is used to research vehicles.
Okay, so it's a slow process that we're getting further into this, like further in depth. So it's not all dumping it in you at once. It's like sort of taking you along slowly, breaking you in gently.
The module has been successfully researched. Now you can purchase and mount it.
Okay, so what it's doing here is it's telling you to
module has been purchased
and mount the module. So obviously you're going to want to get the next engine because the next engine is always going to be better. We can actually view the characteristics here. But whether this comes later or not, what I feel in this situation is it should explain what all of these mean here. Because for a player, it's not very clear what the average damage means. It could be, like when I started playing, I believed that the different numbers for the damage meant that it could roll between 36 and 40. Because I understood RNG, I understood the tanks can roll different ways. But I didn't understand what it meant. Because obviously this, it means, you know, the first two are the armor piercing rounds, the second one is the high explosive round. Armor penetration, I sort of understood that to a degree. I thought it was, obviously the last one was HE, but I thought the first two were again armor, like the rolls it could do. Gun loading, rate of fire, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Average damage per minute as well. Dispersion at 100 meters, that needs to be explained. So too with aiming time, because obviously with dispersion, it's, when I started, and I'm going to use my experiences here because this is obviously the best one, but I thought dispersion, the higher the number, the better it was. I thought like it was a factor of 1 basically. So if something's got 0.2 dispersion, that means that the circle will be like 80% the size of like a fully bloomed circle, if that makes sense. But in reality, it's the other way around. 0.2 dispersion means the shell could potentially drift off basically like 20 meters. I'm not sure what actually dispersion means, but basically the lower the number, the better it is, for all intents and purposes. I think dispersion just means how far the shell actually travels per meter every 100 meters. So I think it's like, this would be 46 centimeters maybe, or 46 millimeters. Every 100 meters, that's how far the shell will move. But I feel like that should be explained along with the aiming circle. That should maybe go into a bit more detail, but that might be explained. So now it's going to want us to maybe go into another battle. So we'll see what this training has in store for us. So right here, this is good. We are going against one of the first overpowered tanks that a player will meet, a Matilda. And it's showing, it's reiterating points, which is very good, and you're learning these points at the same time. So obviously the penetration indicators. It's showing the different zooms that you can do, and it's teaching people, like, yeah, basically it's showing people that this is important here. So I'm guessing we're going to be talking about critical hits in this training session. So hitting the gun, hitting the tracks, because new players won't know necessarily that you can just take out guns. So it's sort of pushing you further into things, really. So we're back in the BT2. We're on Prokhorovka.
Spot enemy vehicles.
Okay, so now it's teaching us about spotting. It's brought up the minimap. Now this is very important. What it should do at the start is basically say you've got to have the minimap as large as possible, because that's extremely important.
You have been spotted. Get ready to fight.
Okay, so now in this situation here, if I could actually pause, it should say use like terrain to cover yourself, because most people will just drive either assist or just drive headlong first into these 3 enemy tanks. Also, like focus fire should be explained. And now look, we're behind this SU. So we can actually oh right, so we can actually take off the tracks here because they're 200 millimeters. So we actually have to shoot like around said tank. That's not a pen, fair enough. So what I feel this situation should be explained is the informed mobilization, because the SU-76i doesn't have 200 millimeters of armor on its tracks. So I feel that situation you should be allowed to outflank stuff, because we've got a micro mouse and a bunch of like good tanks, so it should be down to us to...
There are too many of them. Fall back.
Do we need to fall back though, really? Is it making us fall back, or are we So I guess in this situation it's telling us that discretion can sometimes be better.
Flank the enemy.
And that teaches us about flanking, so this is again very important. Basics for a player to use the minimap, look at where tanks are and stuff. We should also probably go into details about the minimap, like here, extended minimap features. So it tells us like what tanks are where, etc, etc.
Bushes will hide you from enemies as long as you hold your fire.
Okay, so this teaches us about concealment
Hold
now.
your fire, or the enemy will spot you.
Now this is... Let's try something here actually, because there are a lot more bushes here than what there usually is. I'm going to go back 50 meters behind the bush and I'm going to fire. Yeah, so the bushes still work the normal way they do in this in the training. So it's teaching you to basically stay behind bushes or stay in bushes and the enemy won't spot you. But what it's not telling you is you can pull back behind them. And now obviously they're all behind a ridge, now we can get behind them. So I guess this is just more explaining flanking situations, but I feel that that would be the perfect opportunity to say to a player like you can use it
Capturing
bushes.
an enemy base is one of the ways to secure victory.
So I guess we've got to go capture the base now. Now in this situation, you don't want to go capture the base. Obviously the base is usually here.
One of the ways to secure when you take base capture in progress.
Okay, so it's an
when
LT.
you take damage, your capture progress is reset.
Right, so in this situation, one of the good things to say would be use positions like this here, like this rock here, concealment, or just don't fight. Let another person do it. Because you don't want to be sat in the middle of the castle, you want to use all available concealment, you want to force this guy to come out to you. So I feel like that's something that could be explained. But then again, players might not like understand, or it might be too heavy for them to like take it all in at once. But I feel if it's going to this much like depth, because I don't think that back in 2014 it had this much like this level of detail in said
vehicles capture the base faster.
Like in God, losing focus here. No, it didn't have this level of detail. I think it just threw you straight into like this is how you move and shoot, not sort of going. So it definitely has improved, but I feel like if you're going to improve it this much, you might as well go all the way and say like, you know, that this.
Victory.
You know, you can use the bushes. You should track and immobilize an enemy. Now I don't know how long this is, but it's very good for a new player. And coupled with YouTube videos, just random ones watching it, live streams as well, a new player will pick up how to play the game very quickly. And yeah, I think it's good. It's definitely, it's going in the right direction. So this is explaining bush mechanics again. It's also explaining spotting mechanics. So I guess what in this sense it should also do is explain what the circles mean on the map. Such as the green circle, like the render circle, it should maybe explain what those are. So yeah, he's disappeared now. So I guess a player could maybe figure out with that green circle, like what is, like use their initiative basically to figure out what it actually means. This situation, this is actually very good because this Conqueror cannot see the enemy because he's firing through concealment. So I feel like the game needs to explain that a bit more. And it should maybe put a hint towards those indicators at the top of where like fire comes from. Because that, you know, you can blind fire people that way and such. So I guess this is going to explain bush mechanics, like firing through concealment. So yeah, this is going to be a direct comparison. So the guy's going to go forward, he's going to spot the enemy, he's going to pull back 50 meters behind the bush, fire and not get spotted. So that's good. But this right here, I don't know whether we will be able to put this into practice or not. Like it should say that this only works once the bush goes transparent, like once you can't see through it. So maybe a bit more detail in this area because this is a very key point. But then again at tier 1 and 2 and arguably 3, this isn't really such of a big thing. So maybe I'm overthinking this a bit, but I'm probably going to be quite harsh in this for the criticisms, just because.
Lesson 2.
A player could potentially lose a lot of like enthusiasm for the game if they're doing poorly, especially with the amount of seal clubbers down at the low tier. So right, this is introduced us to the tech tree now, and basically it's shown us that we can research another tank, so we can research the BT-5 now.
The vehicle has been researched. Now,
so you can purchase it. What also should be explained is you can sell like stuff that you don't need here, but I guess that's up to the player to to use. We get a free crew. A 300% crew as a reward, so that's pretty decent. And there we go, we've got the sunglasses tank.
Lesson 3. Crew.
Okay, so we're going to talk about crew now. So this is... And it's going to make us put concealment as our first skill. Fair enough, I guess. I mean, it is a light tank. We're going to have 6th Sense as our first skill.
Crew skills and perks increase your vehicle characteristics.
So we're going to get 6th Sense as free, and then we're obviously going to go... We're going to only put concealment next. But I feel, in that situation, the game should also explain that different vehicles will require different skill sets. A tank destroyer will typically take concealment as their first skill. A heavy tank will typically take repairs, and then they'll reset them once they get to a certain level, but I feel like the game should explain that. And now this is just reiterating how to win a game, how to use bush mechanics, so on and so forth. Okay, so yeah, this is explaining dispersion. It's slower, obviously, when you're stationary. And this is what we've already looked at. So it's good that it's keeping us honest about knowing other things, but also telling us new things at the same time. So it is drilling it into you a bit more.
Mission: capture the enemy base or destroy all enemy vehicles.
Okay, now we've got we've got repair kits, fire extinguisher, and a med kit. So I'm guessing the first thing we're going to do is probably have to use the repair kit. No, he's running, okay. It bothered me to try and hit something with a 45mm long range. Now, this here might be very difficult for a new player to get used to, is shooting stuff on the move. Oh, okay. I'll take it. Yeah, a new player may struggle with that, so I guess that it's good that it's in a low pressure environment, trying to have to shoot something quick on the move. And now I guess this is sort of like half holding your hand at this point. That, you know, we need to go forward, we need to do this, so it's Panzerjäger 1 here. So this is again teaches about concealment in the way that it's not just showing us we've got to figure this out for ourselves. So I guess we go here, and we'll spot the Panzerjäger.
Track destroyed. Use the repair kit.
Okay. So this is how to use repair kits. Obviously he doesn't have one because that would be a bit too easy. Now this LT is coming. So this again is reiterating the importance of holding a flank. And in this situation here, it should maybe also talk about minimizing angles of fire from the enemy. I don't know what this AI is doing. Whatever. Nice. Fine, whatever. What help? I guess the Russians are a good tank to use for this because of their just terrible dispersion values. I mean, ramming. No. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely improving, and I definitely feel that if I was a new player, I'd pick this up quite well, because obviously it's telling you what to do, it's showing you in a video, and in a very obvious way, and then it's getting you to do it slowly.
Vehicle on fire.
It's not like
use the fire extinguisher.
Massively, hello. It's not massively, throwing you at the deep end straight away, and then just sort of annoying you. But there we get to have to use the fire extinguisher. It really needs to talk about using concealment. It's just like that destroyed Panzer IV there, because that is a very very important thing to do. Spotted another tank, but there, TAC. So this situation should also teach you to single out certain tanks. Like this here is a free kill, and it's just easy pickings really. Now, and I think we can actually use, well, we could potentially use the bushes here can see ourselves in this LTP. Yeah, so I guess this is a good position. It should probably tell you to come over here so we can use these bushes. And we can get practice for ourselves as to how these bush mechanics work. Now we're just good for killing this guy. Actually hit my shots for once. And now the last tank is something, we don't know what it is, but we're going to have to capture the base now. There's only one real way that guy can come from, he's over here. Oh, I see Hikaru Yamamoto. Oh, rip. Get the P-38 out, lads, because he's not going to survive long. I guess we'll kill him.
Gunner injured. Accuracy reduced. Use the first aid kit.
There we go. So yeah, this one's definitely a lot better. It's
Victory.
even if you don't pick up the like the concealment straight away, you know it's there, and you know you can easily go watch videos on it. It is also giving you these Fight Like a Pro things, and also I really want to stop recording now because the F1 Drive to Survive Season 3 trailer has just come out. But I'm gonna power on through and go watch it afterwards. What I think would be good as well, I don't know how well this would work, is if in the game it showed you, that's a pretty cool shot. Say to aim for always aim for the front drive wheel, never aim for the back one. Front drive wheel, you're definitely guaranteed to get at least some internal damage, well not internal damage, but you're definitely guaranteed to get damage. So this is showing you D-tracking and whatnot, and then firing into his engine compartment. I was going to set him on fire, obviously. Now, we should explain here that an engine fire is only a 50, I think it's a 50-50 chance. If when the engine goes red, you're going to get a fire. But I think you should also explain that if you destroy the fuel tanks and they go red, it is going to affect you. Now, the Krangfang is missing every shot. And this is also very important here. That is teaching you to use like concealment in like actual I don't know, like physical concealment, I guess. And now we've ammo racked that guy. So I get this is good. This teaches you to aim on tanks like this, to aim for the back bustle of the turret. But it doesn't. It's going to be. It's difficult because ammo racks or tanks are everywhere. Like, it's good, it's informative, and it teaches you to aim for certain spots to give yourself an advantage in the battle, but I feel like it should explain
Lesson
that
4.
it won't, you know, it isn't totally accurate for every tank. Whatever. What was lesson 4? Lesson 4 is consumables.
Consumables help deal with various emergencies.
Okay, so we're going to apply. A tip, if anyone is watching this and they are a new player, first thing you always do is, if you play with the W, A, S and D keys, assign your repair kit as your E key, right, or your 5 key. Because when you hit the E key, it will come up as number 5.
Improve certain characteristics of
like the track is the 5th module along. So if your repair kit is number 5, you just double tap 5, and the amount of time you save by doing that is incredible. It really is. And now,
apply everything you have learned and win a random.
okay, so we're going to a random battle now. That's interesting. So we've got to run a random battle. well, let's give it a go. Might as well finish on this random game. It's given us improved hardening, which is questionable at best. Whether it teaches us about equipment later on, I don't know. I don't think this is an actual random battle. But whatever. Yes, it's just teaching us what we know already. No, this isn't a random game. Because we can't, yeah. So this is a random battle, but what it means is it's a random battle against bots.
Mission: capture the enemy base or destroy all enemy vehicles.
Okay, so it's 15v15, standard game mode here. And yeah, well, I'm just going to play this how I would normally. We're going to take hill. I don't think anything else will get up there apart from maybe their BT7s. But they're only tier 2. Yeah, we're only fighting tier 2s. Yeah, their BT7s get up there. I'm not going to repair the engine because I don't need to at this point. And I'd much rather save in case I need to repair my Amarak. Now obviously they're doing a lot less damage. So to die in this you'd have to suck something massive. I don't know why I was driving over. I thought it was Steel Hunter. I've been playing Steel Hunter on the test server and I've been getting all excited. Ready to play that game again. I went to go pick up the loot from this body, but whatever. Now we get to use concealment here. So I guess doing this on mines is a very good map because this will probably be one of the first ones you play. Mines, Abbey and Himmelsdorf, I believe. The main maps upload here. Kill this MS1 muscle here. Somehow the shoe tank has managed to make it to the hill. Oh, that T60 is on fire. Oh, someone else got a kill. It's kind of toxic, but whatever. God, this Soviet accuracy, man. No. Yeah, I'm not going to complain, I guess. The best thing to do in this situation now is it should give you like little hints as you go forward. The best thing to do is to go and clear out the 1-2 line, because we're already going to lose the little town where the encounter cap circle usually is. So the best thing to do is go and clear out the side with less enemies. As you can see, if we went over there we wouldn't make much of a difference. We'd die and we wouldn't clear out this fang fast enough. BT7's been problematic. There he's tracked, okay good. Might have missed. There we go. Okay, now there's a tank destroyer somewhere. I don't think he's up there. He is up there. What was he doing whilst I was killing all of his friends? Guess we're going to deal with him. If our team caps, I'm going to be very upset. Let's go deal with this 81. We'll leave that I go for now, because he might actually decap. I just want to go get more damage, because why not? My team's captain feels bad. Critical here, of course. You first. That T60 is actually a dangerous tank, whatever. Oh, we have to go. Oh. Great, we don't even get to kill all 15 tanks. You know, like... I feel in this situation, if this is what they're going to call a random game, it should have you know, a potential that our team is going to throw in the cap circle, they're going to be able to defend it, and then it's going to be up to me to take out 1, 2, 3 enemies, maybe. I feel like that would be a good thing for
Lesson
it to
5.
do.
Gold and
Of course,
The mission has been successfully completed.
the gold and the premium account has to be in here.
Gold is used to purchase premium account time and various items.
Yes, we know.
Premium account increases the amount of experience and credits earned.
Oh no. Okay, so this is, I guess, another trailer for like what you'd expect the battling to be. Oh, is he going in the water? Oh yes, boys. The Pattern's going for a swim. So I like what they're doing here. They're sort of showing that there's like customization elements into it. They're showing like famous tanks and stuff. I guess this is just a trailer of like all the maps you're gonna fight on, like a bit of a teaser, really. Those like Grand Battle map, but we don't care about those.
Great job. You have completed the tutorial.
Okay, so tutorial over. Right, so what do I think? I think that it's definitely a good tutorial. It would, as a new player, it definitely helps you to get to know the basics and a little bit more of the advanced stuff. It breaks you in quite slowly to it as well. It doesn't all dump it all on you at once. And it's set out in a way, it appeals to every single person that learns. You've got the actually doing it, you've got the visual learning, and you've got the auditory learning as well. So every person can learn. I can actually click the accept button. That's interesting. Okay, well, I guess we're stuck on the end user license agreement. That turns out I just had to alt tab out of the game. Okay, so back to it. Yeah, it's definitely a good tutorial. It certainly helps you to get to know the basics of the game. And as a player that's been playing for 7 years, I definitely think it's good. I would be happy going back to that game new and having that tutorial. Like, I feel that is good. From where, like, there isn't much that I could say about it. I think the only thing I'd say that needs to be improved is maybe not hold your hand as much. Maybe in the last like 2 or 3 trials that you do, it should definitely let you do it on your own, and it shouldn't help you. And then maybe there should be like an accuracy or like a thing where they pick out what you did wrong, what went well, so on and so forth. A bit like in chess, really, that they can pick out like the mistakes you made and stuff. I feel like that would be a good addition. Teaching people to also use not concealment, to use natural cover such as dead tanks, differentiations in the terrain, etc. That would be good. But aside from that, there's really not much else. I feel explaining the equipment, the camouflage, the crew skills should be included, but that should only be included after you've done the main training, once you get up to that point. But aside from that, I think it's pretty decent. So yeah, that was an interesting video to do. I definitely enjoyed it. and I feel that any player that would come along would be quite happy doing this, and it'd be pretty easy for them to pick it up at the basics and then progress to be a better player. So I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did like it or you want to see something else of the same type, please do leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll catch you for some more World of Tanks content very soon.